Then we go back to the pipe section, and this is based on your knowledge of MEP. So we open up the pipes and create a duplicate of the galvanized, and I'll name it something different. For example, galvanized, make short for mechanical room. All right, and then I'll open up the type properties, click on edit, and then here in the routing preferences menu, we can select the elbow and scroll through the menu to find the elbow that's flange CS class 150 and select it. All right, then OK and OK here as well. So now if I select the pipes and use this make room and create 2 pipes over here, it automatically creates the new elbow. So this way it's much easier, and remember to make a template for your project, especially the big ones that contain all of your necessary elements such as these. Now, when can you come to this conclusion? It's after you've completed a project and you figured out the problems with your template and where it's lacking. So right now for this part in the T, I'll have to go to the Insert tab. All right, the Systems tab here, and select the Load Family from the Fittings tool, and then find a piece that's T-shaped in the folders here. All right, back out of these. So it's here, but before I was in the Imperial folders, but you need to go over to the libraries and follow this direction to find the families. And so we select the metric T flange CS class 150 and we open it up. Cancel on this, and then I'll select the T structure, and then we can go through the type menu and select the metric T flanged instead. In cases like these, we already have a flange structure before and after this, which connected the system using bolts and nuts. So I'll go over here and select the pipe accessories tool, and I've already made up all the families that are necessary in a project like this and put it to your access. So I'll go over to the directory where I've placed the files, select this and open it up. All right, now let's zoom in here and rotate the 3D view to get in as close as we can. And this is the part that we'll be placing our piece. Now we just have to rotate it around to find the perfect placement for it. All right, for now, we'll put it here from the top view. And this is how the flange is installed here. And we can use the align tool, or I can do it from the top view right here using the align tool to connect these up. All right, delete on this. This is because we'll be missing one of the pipe checks, and that's why we get the error. So we'll select the pipe over here and disconnect it for the system in order to demonstrate this. So as you can see, we have 2 connection points here, one for each, and we can put the connection points of the connector piece on this side so we can connect it to the system, and then we can grab the pipe by the connection point and connect it to this side. And now the dimensions of the connector piece itself are controllable. So if you select it, you can adjust the dimensions through the menu here. I'll put in 6, it's too big for it. Alright, so 5 is fine for now, but we'll only have the length of the bolt, which we can control using this field down here. Let's increase it a bit. Alright, edit it once more, a bit less, and there we go. Now look at it, and there it is. And you can also specify the number of the bolts here and their width as well. For example, we have the M12 here, which we can select, and this is what it looks like. We'll leave it on M10 for now, and then I'll select the create similar option once again for this part over here. All right, let's put one here. Let's change the view and bring it over here to see if we can place it. All right, so delete the extra ones. And then we'll just have to connect these two up. So we'll select the Align tool and then click on this surface area to see if we can connect it to this surface. All right, hit delete on this. So we try this side of the connector and let's see what we have for the gap bolt. It's fine, but let's just increase it a bit to 0.032. All right, 33. Let's try 35. And I think 34 will be ideal. And all right, now let's get a quick check over here as well, because there might be some differences in viewpoints between 3D and 2D plans. Well, it's fine for now. And we'll have to put the same flanges for this part as well. First, I'll zoom out of here and using the create similar option, I'll select the flange and then I'll rotate the view and place one of the flanges over here. All right. I'll select the flange itself and then rotate its direction, and then using the create similar tool, I'll want to put another one on the other side as well. We just have to find the perfect placement for it. For example, right here. All right, and then once again using Align, we can connect it to the pipe here. All right, delete this. Then we go to the flange that we had already, bring this backwards and use Align to see if we can connect it to here. All right, and then the bolt gap, which I can decrease through the other section here. All right, change it to 31, and it's fine for now. Now let's try the other side, and these are works that we need to do before we can finish up the project. This is all based on the knowledge that you possess on the modeling of sections such as these. And so that's how we can finish up this part, but we'll need to put two valves on either side of this as well. So I'll go over to the Systems tab and select the Pipe Accessories tool and select the Load Family option. Then I can select the valve and open it up. And now comes time for the placement of it. Let's go to the 2D plan so I can place them better. So we put one here and then another one here as well. So before and after each one of these valves, we get flanges with nuts and bolts once again. And the plan looks like this from up to this point. And the piece that's up here we can select because it's been wrongly placed here and we need to delete it. All right, so delete this, and the reasoning for this was the difference between the surface levels and their heights. So I'll select this and using create similar, I'll put one over here, and then I'll fix this part up here using trim. And remember, we need the flanges for parts such as the elbows that we have here. So we use this elbow instead, and then we use the flanges. So basically we have to use flanges wherever we have elbows. Now the height of this might be too much, so we can go to the middle elevation and put it on 1.85 for now, so that there won't be any collisions with the ducts and it will be still accessible. Then, as we said, we'll place the flanges over here, and then we'll only have the two water tanks over here, which will be these parts right here on the AutoCAD file, and we can see the dimensions as well, and 3 inches is used here. So I'll go back to the plan in the Revit file, and I'll select the tank itself and then the 3-inch pipe. Let's bring it outwards a bit. Now I'll put this in the elevation point of about 2 meters. Then we'll follow the pipe up to this point, and then up here we'll continue to build another pipe that goes outwards. And all right, let's see where it is in the 3D view. I'll select and delete the pipe here and the elbow as well. Select trim and try these two. Alright, so they're not in the same direction, so we can trim them. So from the Modify tab, I'll select the Align tool. Then right here, let's go to the 2D plan to see where this part is. Alright, so now using Align, I'll select the middle line of this using tab, and then we'll have to find the center point of this one. Alright, so cancel on this. And we can do another thing as well. So selecting the reference plane tool will create a line from here that goes through the center line of the pipe. Then I'll select this pipe, and using the move in the 2D plan, I'll select the center point of this and move it over here to the left. And then we can trim it in the 3D view. And right now we can spot a small clash occurring with the pipe right here. So we've reserved too much space and depth for this, and we'll have to decrease it. I'll select the pipe up top, which we can see in the 2D plan right here, and I'll move this inside using the arrows on the keyboard.